Yarrney.
Hello, welcome back to Yarrney. In this tutorial, you will learn how to make these nice 3D crochet letters to make the word baby. So you will learn how to make the letter B that you will do twice, and then the letter A. Of course, you will have the second letter B made, and then the letter Y to make the word baby. In terms of materials needed, I am using this Posh yarn by Big Twist. It's in the bulky size. You can use, honestly, any yarn that you want. If you're using a different weight or size of yarn, your letter will be in a different sizing, but it's still going to work. Now with your yarn, if you're using the same yarn as me, I'm using a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. If you're not using the same yarn as me, just make sure you're using a crochet hook that's suitable for your yarn. Make sure you have some scissors to cut your yarn, a yarn needle just to sew in the ends, and then some stuffing because you will need stuffing to stuff your letters. Now for the stitches, it's very simple. You will just need to know the slip knot and chain, the single crochet, the increase, and the decrease. So don't worry, I will show you how to do these stitches in this tutorial, but we also have very slow and detailed tutorials on the Yarrney channel as well if you want to look at them separately. So the way to make this 3D letter B, we will basically crochet a flat letter B like this, and then we will make 2 of these. Then we will join all the edges together with single crochets with a little bit of stuffing in between. And this letter B, so how it's worked in 3 parts. What I mean by this is that the first part, we're going to crochet the bottom section. So we're starting from here, moving all the way up until here. So this section here will be the first part. Then we will continue on this portion here from the second part, moving up, going all the way here to here. So this portion here will be the second part. And then lastly, we will do this third part from here all the way until the end like this. Our starting point will be a foundation chain. So to do that, we need to do a slip knot. So take the tail end of your yarn, wrap it around your index finger like this, bring the tail end on top of the working yarn like this. Now you take the working yarn, wrap it around your finger, and then you have your yarn like this. Bring the back loop forward, and then you have your slip knot. So take your crochet hook, insert it in this little loop here, tighten your slip knot, and then we're ready to do our foundation chain. So the foundation chain is going to be 20 chains. So to do the chain, you wrap the yarn around your hook like this, and then you pull the yarn with your hook through the loop here on the hook. So this is your first chain like this, and then we do 20 in total. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So once you have your 20 chains, this is our foundation where we will build more stitches on. So now for row number 1, what you're going to do in the first stitch is basically the increase. And when I say first stitch, I mean that we will start from the second chain from the hook. So this loop on the hook here does not count as a stitch. So you're going to see basically each stitch is a 2-leg form looking like a V. So your first chain here from the hook is this one that you will be skipping, and then the second chain from the hook will be this one here. So in the second chain from the hook is where you will insert your increase. So the increase, what you're going to do is insert a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So the single crochet is basically, let me demonstrate this quickly. So insert your hook in the second chain from the hook, wrap the yarn around your hook, pull it back through this chain. You have 2 loops on your hook, and then you wrap the yarn around your hook, pull it through the 2 loops. So this is your first single crochet in the second chain from the hook. Now you will do another single crochet in this exact same chain that you just did the single crochet. So this is an increase, basically 2 stitch in 1 stitch. So after this increase is done, what we're going to do is 18 single crochet. So 1 single crochet in each chain all the way until the end. So again, demonstrating the single crochet, insert your hook in the next chain, wrap the yarn around your hook to pull it back through this chain. You have 2 loops on your hook, wrap the yarn around your hook, pull it through both loops. So I have 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So this is our first row completed. And we will keep adding on more rows to build the letter B. In between each row, what you want to do is 1 chain. So it's your turning chain. So wrap the yarn around your hook, pull it through the loop on your hook. So this way we can turn our project around. So we can always work from the right to the left. So don't forget your turning chain in between each row. So now for row number 2, it's quite straightforward. What you're going to do is 19 single crochet, and then we will do an increase at the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So after this 19th single crochet here, you will have 1 last stitch at the end of your row that's unworked on. So in this last stitch, we will do an increase. This means we're doing 2 single crochet in this last stitch. So 1 single crochet in the last stitch, then a 2nd single crochet in this exact same stitch. So this is our increase. Now moving on to row 3, chain 1, your turning chain, turn your project around. Then at this start here, we're going to do an increase. So 2 single crochet in the same stitch. So 1 single crochet in this first stitch, and then another single crochet in this exact stitch. So we have our increase. By doing this, what it's going to do is basically creates this rounder edge here when you do increases. So after you've done your increase, we're going to do in the entire row of 20 single crochet all the way until the end. So you should have basically 20 stitches to work on. So 1 single crochet in each stitch. So go ahead and do 20 single crochet, and I'll meet you at the end right here. All right, so I'm now completing my 20th single crochet at the end of round 3 here. And before moving on to round 4, remember chain 1, turn your project around. For round 4, we're going to do 21 single crochet, and then at the very last stitch we're going to do an increase. So 21 single crochet. So make sure you count your single crochets here. Do 21, and I'll meet you before we do the last stitch. All right, so I'm doing my 21st single crochet here right before that last stitch, right here. So this very last stitch is going to be a increase again. So 2 single crochet in the exact same stitch. So make sure you insert 2 single crochet in this last stitch. So I just did my 1, and I'll insert a second in the exact same stitch. Okay, so after we're done with this, chain 1, then turn your project around, and what we're going to do now is 1 increase at this first stitch here. So 2 single crochet in this first stitch. So 1, and then 2 in the exact same stitch. So this is your increase here. Then you should have 22 stitches remaining on this row here to work on. So each stitch is going to be a single crochet. So make sure you count your stitch. Do 22 single crochet for the remaining of the row. So go ahead, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. All right, so I'm at my last stitch of this row here, the 22 single crochet. Now we're basically done with row number 5, and then chain 1 in between each row here. Turn your project around. Now for row 6 and 7, it's very easy. So for each row, you will simply do 1 single crochet in each stitch, and you should have 24 single crochet in each row. So this will be for row 6 and 7. So go ahead and do 24 single crochet in row 6, and then chain 1, turn your project around, then do 24 single crochet again, and then I will meet you back at the end of row 7. Now I'm at the end of my row 7 here, doing my last single crochet of the row. So basically when I left you at row 5, we were at this location. So you did 24 single crochet all the way here. You chained 1, you turned your project around, you did 24 single crochet all the way back. So now we're going to do row 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 are the same thing. We're doing 8 single crochet in each rows. And what's happening is that we've completed basically this section here. And now what we're going to do is just to work our rows up for the smaller portion here, all the way to here. So for row 8, you chain 1, just like in between each and every row. Turn your project around and do 8 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this is your row 8. You stop at 8 single crochet. Now to do 9, you chain 1, turn your project around, do 8 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this was end of row 9. So basically we just keep doing this for row 10, 11, and 12. Chain 1, turn your project around, do 8 single crochet for row 10, then chain 1, turn your project around, do 8 single crochet for row 11, then chain 1, turn your project around, do 8 single crochet for row 12. So go ahead and do that, 8 single crochet in each of row 10, 11, and 12 with 1 chain in between each row, and I'll meet you here at the end of row 12. So I'm at my last single crochet of row number 12 here. So after you're done with that last stitch, now go ahead and take your scissors, just cut your yarn, and then pull the hook like this with your yarn. So this will secure your stitch. So this first part here is done. So we just completed the bottom portion of the bee here. And now we're going to start at this section here, moving all the way up to here. So for part 2, you have this bottom section that you just completed. So this is, I will call this the right side of the project, since this is the bottom portion of our bee here. What we want to do now is just turn your project around so this longer piece here is faced towards the left. Now what you're going to do is from this left end here, you will count 11 stitches. So 1 stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Insert your hook under the 11th stitch here, like this. And you will go take your yarn. And I will just hold the yarn with my fingers like this on the hook and pull the yarn with your hook through that stitch, like this. So I will act like this is a little stitch here, and I will make sure I hold this other piece of yarn with my finger, the other side, and I will do my first stitch of the row. So the first stitch of the row is going to be a decrease. So what a decrease does is merging 2 stitches into 1. So what you are going to do is insert your hook under the next stitch. Make sure you hold on to the yarn here so that it's not loose. Wrap the yarn around your hook, pull it back through the stitch, but not on the loop, okay? So you should have 2 loops here. Now insert your hook in the next stitch, wrap the yarn around your hook, pull it back through the stitch. Now you see you have 3 loops on your hook. Wrap the yarn around your hook, pull it through all 3 loops. So this is your decrease stitch. Now after you've done that, we're going to do 8 single crochet. So 1, oops, all right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this is first row of part 2. Before we move on to row 2, I just want to bring your attention to this part here. So what I like to do is insert my hook not in the stitch where this yarn is coming from, but the next one next to it. So I can pull the yarn back like this. And then I also like to do a little knot. So in the following stitch here, I will create a little, kind of a little loop with my fingers here, and then pull the yarn like this with your fingers. Make sure there is a loop here, so your yarn is coming out the other way. Now from this portion here where the loop is, bring the yarn back on the other side, and your yarn should come out in the middle here. So just insert it in the loop and just pull to make a little knot here. So now that this side is secure, we will move on to row 2 of part 2. So chain 1, just like we usually do in between each row, turn your project around. We will do 7 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then your last stitch of this row 2 here is going to be a decrease. So we're merging 2 stitches into one. Insert your hook in the next stitch, pull the yarn back, insert your hook in the following stitch, pull the yarn back. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Wrap the yarn around your hook, pull it through all 3 loops. Now this is the end of row 2. Chain 1, turn your project around. So for row 3 and 4, very easy. We're doing 8 single crochet in each row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Chain 1, this is your row 3, turn your project around. Row 4 again, 8 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, now you would chain 1, turn your project around, and then we will start with an increase. So 2 single crochet in the same stitch. So 1 and 2. Then in the next 5 stitches, we will do a single crochet in each stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you should have 2 stitches at the end of the row 5 here. We will do a decrease. So merging these 2 stitches together. So this is our decrease stitch. Once we're done that, chain 1, turn the project around. You will do a decrease as the first stitch here. So merging the 2 stitches, the first 2 stitches together. Once you've done that, 5 single crochet. So after the 5 single crochet, we're going to do an increase in this last stitch of this portion here. So 2 single crochet in the exact same stitch. And the next step is basically we're going to try to merge this portion to here. And how do we do that? Is by doing 6 chain. So do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 chain. After your 6 chain is done, the length of the 6 chain will arrive at this portion here. And then basically we're going to work the next stitches will be single crochet, 8 single crochet in each of the stitches of this left portion here. So this way we're merging the 2 sides together. So 1 single crochet, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this is the end of our row 6 here. What we're going to do next, chain 1, turn your project around. So we're going to do 20 single crochet in row 7 and end it with a decrease at the last stitch. So 20 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now be careful here. The next 6 stitches are worked on this chain here. So make sure you work 1 single crochet in each of the chain. You should have 6 single crochet coming out of the chain. So single crochet on my first chain, single crochet on my second chain, single crochet on my third chain, and then fourth chain, fifth chain, and my sixth chain here. So remember here, this portion here, we did 8 single crochet, then 6 on the chains here. So we have 14 single crochet in total. Now we continue doing single crochet here until we reach 20 single crochet. So my 15th, 16th, 17, 18, 19, and 20 single crochet in total. Now you have 2 stitches left at the end of this row. Merge them together to do a decrease. So this is our last stitch of the row, a decrease. So after we've done this, chain 1, turn your project around. First stitch will be a decrease. Like this. Then for the rest of the row here, it's going to be single crochet in each stitch. You should have a 19 single crochet. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. All right, now next, chain 1, turn your project around. For the next row, we're going to do 18 single crochet on the row here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So you will note that at the end here, you have 2 stitches that are unworked, which is fine because what happens is that we're basically at this section here. So we don't want to work the entire row, just to have this little crease effect here. So now we move on to the next row. What you're going to do is chain 1, turn your project around, and your first stitch of the row is going to be an increase. So 2 single crochet in the exact same stitch. So 1 and 2. Then you will move all the way back with 17 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3. So go ahead and work this single crochet on this entire row, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. So I'm at the end of the row here with my last single crochet. So this is basically row 10 of our part 2. And now it's pretty easy. If I show you the letter B here, we've done this part here, and what we're going to do is build this smaller portion here, just like we did here basically. And then that would be the end of part 2 very shortly. So chain 1, turn your project around, and now for row 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, it's 8 single crochet in each row. So this is row 11 with 8 single crochet. Three single crochet, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So just like we did here, you will stop, you will chain 1, turn your project around, and build it up with 8 single crochet in each row. So we just done 11, so you're working on 12. So go ahead and do 8 single crochet in each of the row 12, 13, 14, and 15. And then I'll meet you back here at the end of row 15. Don't forget to do chain 1 in between each row to turn your project around. I'm at my last single crochet of row 15 here. Once you're done with that, just cut your yarn and pull the yarn like this, and we're basically done with part 2 here. So now that part 2 is done, we will work on part 3. Part 3 is basically working this little area here up all the way until the end here. So this is the right side of my project for the letter B. Turn the project around like this so that the belly here is facing the left. And now we're going to start from this row here, just like we did here basically. So what you want to do here is count 10 stitches from the left here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So insert your hook under the 10th stitch like this. Now take your yarn, just like we did in this bottom section here. Put it on your hook, hold it with your fingers so it's not loose, pull it through like this, and still hold the other side here with your finger. And your first stitch is going to be a decrease. So what you're going to do is merge the next 2 stitches into one, like this. And then make sure this last loop here is tight, so just pull onto the yarn and hold it. Now after you're done with your decrease, you will do 6 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. You will have one last stitch here that you haven't worked on. This will be a increase, so 2 single crochet in the same stitch. So 1 single crochet and then a second single crochet in the exact same stitch. And this is your row number 1 for part 3. So just before we move on, just like we did at the bottom here, insert your hook in the next stitch here to pull the yarn back like this. And then you can just try to do a little knot again, just like we did at the bottom. Make sure there's a little loop. You can work your loop to make the knot here and insert the yarn in the loop. Just like this. All right. So moving on to row 2 of part 3. We will chain 1 just like we always do in between each row. Turn your project around, work 7 single crochet, and then we're doing a decrease. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now the last stitch is going to be a decrease, so merge your next 2 stitches together. So this is your row 2. Chain 1, turn your project around. For row 3 and 4, very easy, 8 single crochet in each row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that's row 3. Chain 1, turn your project around, work 8 single crochet on row 4. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this is row 4. Row 5, we will chain 1, turn your project around. You will do 1 increase in the first stitch, so 2 single crochet in the exact same stitch. And for the rest of the row, you will do 7 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that is basically row 5. Chain 1, turn your project around. We will do 8 single crochet as a start. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now you have a last stitch here at the end of this little portion here. Do an increase, so 2 single crochet in the same stitch. So 1 and 2. And now we're basically wanting to join this right portion with the left, just like we did here. So how do we do that? Very simple. We chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this will be enough for us to merge to this section here. And then we will do 8 single crochet on this left portion here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this is end of row 6. So chain 1, turn your project around. Row 7, very simple. We're doing 22 single crochet on the entire row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when you arrive at the chain, just like you did at the bottom, make sure you do 1 single crochet in each chain here. So you have 4 chains. You should have 4 single crochet for the chains. So after your 4 chains and 8 stitches here, you have 12 single crochet. So then you just keep going on the next side here. So 13 single crochet, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22 single crochet for row number 7. Now for row 8, chain 1, turn your project around. The first stitch will be a decrease, so what you're going to do, merge the first 2 stitches together. So just like this. This is a decrease. Now for the remaining of the row, you will do 20 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So go ahead to do the remaining 20 single crochet for this row 8, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. So I'm at my last stitch of row 8 here, my last single crochet of the row. Now you will chain 1, turn your project around. For row 9, super simple, do 21 single crochet, 1 single crochet in each stitch. So 1, 2. Now simply just go ahead, finish the row of 1 single crochet in each stitch, and then I'll meet you back at the end of the row here. So I'm at the end of my row 9. I'm doing my last single crochet here. Now we would chain 1, turn the project around for row 10. So the first stitch of row 10, we're going to do a decrease, so merge the first 2 stitch together like this. And then the next stitches for the row is going to be 19 single crochet. So go ahead, work your 19 single crochet for your row 10 here, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. So I'm at my last stitch of row 10 here, my single crochet. Once you're done, chain 1, turn your project around. For row 11, we're going to start with 18 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So you will notice at the end of row 11 there's 2 stitches unworked, so this is going to be a decrease. So merge the last 2 stitches together. Now you're done with row 11. Chain 1, turn your project around. The first stitch is going to be a decrease, so merge your first 2 stitches together to do the decrease. And for the remainder of the row is simply 17 single crochet. So go ahead and work your 17 single crochet, and I'll meet you at the end of this row here. So I'm at the last stitch of row 12 here, my last single crochet. So chain 1, and we're going to be at the last row of this letter B here. So the last row, row 13, what you're going to do, very simple, start with 16 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and this last 2 stitches is going to be a decrease. So merge your last 2 stitches together, and this is the last row that we're working on. So after you've done this, go ahead and cut the yarn. So now we have the 2 sides. I mean, you need to work 2 of these bees so that we can basically put them together like this. So if you haven't done 2 of these yet, just work another bee, and then the next step is to merge them, kind of like doing single crochet on the edges, so we can merge them together. So what I like to do is doing the insides first, so these little holes, basically merging them together, and then I work on the outer edge here. So what I usually do is align your project like this, make sure it's perfectly aligned, and I just like to start in a corner here. So insert your hook in the corner of both bees aligned like this. So if you can see here, my hook is going through both bees here. So again, I will hold the yarn with my hand and then just use the hook to bring the yarn through the pieces of the bee here like this. Now it's important that you make sure that your hand is on this tail end here so that it's not loose. And then the working yarn that's attached to your ball of yarn here, bring it forward so that you can work using this. So my finger here is holding the tail end while I have the tension placed on the other piece. And what you're going to do is simply single crochet all around this next stitches to merge the pieces together. So do those single crochet all around. So there's not really like the right or wrong way to do this, and I always say this, just make sure that it's perfectly aligned. So inserting your hook in the next holes or stitches that feel good for your hook. As long as it's aligned, you're basically sewing everything together with single crochets. So keep doing this all around for this middle portion here, and I'll meet you back here. So I'm at my inner corner here with basically my last single crochet, merging everything together. Now before I cut my yarn here, just do a last slip stitch just to secure everything. So inserting your hook in the next stitch, pull the yarn through the stitch and also through the loop on the hook here. Now you will just cut the yarn, pull the yarn through like this, and then I will just use my crochet hook to kind of move the yarn inside the project like this. So this is your bottom section of this belly B here. Now do the same with the upper section here. So I like to start in the corners and just do the exact same thing we just did. Once you're done with this upper section here, do a slip stitch like we did at the bottom. Then cut your yarn. Pull onto the yarn to secure everything, and again use your hook to bring the piece of yarn inside like this. So you might have pieces of yarn that's still sticking outside. Just make sure you use your crochet hook to bring everything inside. Then we will start on the outer edge, basically. So what I usually do is start on the edges here and just go all the way around. So this is going to be way easier than doing the middle section. So again, insert your hook on the edge here, take your yarn, bring the yarn through. Just have your finger on this tail end here so that it's secured here, and just start doing single crochet all around, basically, just like this. So work your way all around the letter B. Usually when I do this section and here, I start stuffing the middle portion. So make sure you don't sew everything together without stuffing your letter B. So use fiber fill, yarn scrap, or anything you have for the filling. And then I'll meet you back at the very end. So as you can see here, I'm almost at the end of my single crochet over the edges to shut my B, and I made sure that everything is properly filled with stuffing. And when you reach the end here, just make sure that you fully shut the project, especially that it meets the beginning section where we started here. So I just like to do a few extra stitch, and when I'm done, I do a slip stitch like usual, and then I cut my yarn. pull the yarn through, and here is when I use my yarn needle. Just make sure that the yarn pieces are properly secured. So I just like to do small knots, and then I put my yarn inside my project, coming out the back here. I do this a couple times, like this. And when I'm satisfied, I just cut the yarn. And I just do the same with the other piece. And just like that, you have completed the 3D letter B. In order to do the 3D letter A, we have to make 2 of these flat A's like this. And then we put some stuffing in the middle side here, and then we would join the 2 letter A's with single crochet all around the border. And so this letter A here is going to be worked in 3 parts. So the first part here, we're going to start with this bottom section from here, and then going up, and then we're going this bigger section here, and then going up all the way until here. And then we start doing this portion here, moving down to this section here, joining this portion, and then the last section is this little leg here. All right, let's get started. So the starting point is to do a slip knot. You take the tail end of your yarn and you wrap it around your index finger and bring it on top of the working yarn like this. So the working yarn here, which is under, it's the side that's attached to your ball of yarn. So take your working yarn, wrap it around your index finger like this. Now you take both pieces, and then you have 2 loops here. Take the back loop and bring it forward. So now you have your slip knot. Just tighten it, and then take your hook, insert it in the little loop, and tighten it even more. So now you have your slip knot. What we're going to do next is 9 chains. So to do the 9 chains, you simply wrap the yarn around your hook like this, and then you just pull onto the yarn with your hook to pull it through the loop on the hook. So that's 1 chain, and you just do this 9 times. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So the reason we did 9 chains is because we want these little leg here to have 8 single crochet in each row. To have 8 single crochet in each row, we basically start our next row in the second chain from the hook. So the loop on the hook does not count as a chain. So you have a first chain here, you skip that one, and you start your single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So what you're going to do basically in the next 7 rows is you will insert 8 single crochet in each row. So to do the single crochet, you insert your hook, like I said, in the second chain from the hook. So skipping 1 in the second here, insert your hook in the chain, wrap the yarn around your hook, pull it back through this first loop, the chain here, and then you have 2 loops on your hook, wrap the yarn around your hook, pull it through both loops. So you have your first single crochet. Then you just keep doing this on the next chain all the way until the end of the row. So I have 2. Now I'm doing my 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So if I don't count the foundation chain, this is our first row. So the first row we did 8 single crochet. Now, like I said, you need 7 rows of 8 single crochet in each row. So in between each row, you do 1 chain like this. Then you turn your project around because we want to work from the right side towards the left. And you insert 8 single crochet again. So you do this 7 rows. So 1 single crochet, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this is our second row of 8 single crochet in a row. So like I said, in between each row, do 1 chain. Turn your project around to work from the right to the left. And since we have 2 rows of 8 single crochet, now do 5 more, so we have 7 in total. You can pause the video and I'll see you back here to do row number 8. So I'm just completing my last stitch of row number 7 here, which completes my 7 row of 8 single crochet in each row. For row number 8, we're going to chain 1 as usual in between each row. Turn your project around. The first stitch will be a decrease. So decrease is merging 2 stitches into 1. So you insert your hook in the first stitch here, pull the yarn back through the stitch, and then you insert your hook in the next stitch, pull the yarn back through the stitch. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Now wrap the yarn around your hook, pull it through all 3 loops. So this is your decrease stitch. Now in the next 5 stitches will be single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So after you've done your 5 single crochet, you should have a last stitch here that's unworked from the previous row. In this last stitch here, you will do an increase stitch. This means we will do 2 single crochet in the same stitch. So insert your first single crochet, and then insert a second single crochet in the exact same stitch here. Now the next step for us is basically to work this long part here. We're basically doing this section here. We're just going to extend the row all the way here. So to do this, you will do 14 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So this is our row number 8. And now basically for row 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, which is the next 5 rows, we will do single crochet in each stitch, and then you should have 22 stitches in total to work for. So to do that, we will add 1 chain here, which is our turning chain, then turn our project around so we work from the right to the left side. Remember, we always skip the first chain from the hook, working in the second chain from the hook here. So the loop on the hook does not count as a chain. So insert your hook in the second chain from the hook as your first single crochet for row number 9. You should have 22 single crochet in row number 9. Same for 10, 11, 12, 13. So my 3 single crochet, and then 4 single crochet, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then you have your 8 single crochet here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you do these, and in total you should have 22 single crochet. So this completes this row number 9 here with 22 single crochet across. So like I mentioned, for row 10, 11, 12, and 13, it's 22 single crochets in each row. In between each row, don't forget to do 1 chain, then turn your project around and inserting single crochet in each and every single stitch. So you can pause the video here and work your 4 additional rows of 22 single crochet in each row, and I'll meet you back here at the end of row number 13. So I'm just completing my last single crochet of row 13 here before we move on to row 14. So if I compare here, we just did this full section here, as you can see, and now the next part is really to move on to this section here. So for row 14, very simple, you chain 1, turn your project around, and you do 8 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this is your row 14. Now for row 15, chain 1, turn your project around, you will do an increase stitch here. So 2 single crochet in the same stitch right here. So 1, 2. After that, you will do 5 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So after that, you should have 2 stitches left on your row to work. You will do a decrease, so joining the 2 stitches together. So insert your hook in the next stitch, pull the yarn back, insert your hook in the last stitch, pull the yarn back, and you have 3 loops on your hook. Wrap the yarn around your hook, pull it through all 3 loops. So doing this basically will give it like not a straight up, but it's going to be a little sideways, just like how the A is supposed to be. So now for row 16, 17, and 18, very simple. You will just do 8 single crochet in each row. So chain 1, turn your project around, and go ahead and add 3 rows of 8 single crochet in each row. I'll meet you back here for row 19. So I'm at my last stitch of row 18 here, doing my last single crochet. And now we're moving on to row 19. So chain 1, as usual, in between each row, turn your project around. Now the first stitch again is going to be an increase. So insert your hook in the first stitch to do a single crochet, and then do another single crochet in this exact same stitch. Then the next 5 stitches will be single crochets. So 1 single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. 3, 4, and 5. And if you have guessed it correctly, the last two stitch here of the row will be a decrease. So joining the 2 stitches together, inserting your hook in the next stitch, pull the yarn back, insert your hook in the last stitch, pull the yarn back, 3 loops on your hook, wrap the yarn around your hook, pull it through all 3 loops. So this is your row 19. So now for row 20, 21, and 22, again, very easy. We will do 8 single crochet in each row and chain in between each row to turn the project around. So go ahead for row 20, 21, and 22. Do those 8 single crochet in each rows. You can pause the video here and I'll meet you back here at the end of row 22. All right, so this is my last stitch, and now you can go ahead and cut the yarn here. So this is part 1 completed. Pull the yarn through like this. So your stitch is basically secured. So as you can see, this section here, we basically just completed this portion here. So now the next part, we're going to work this section here. So for part 2, I'll call this side here the right side of the project because it fits on the A like this. So the longer part here faces the right side. To do this part 2, just flip your project like this so that the longer part here faces the left. What you want to do is count 9 stitches from the end here. Now each stitch is formed of a V formation, so there's 2 legs to each stitch that does this. So this is 1 stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Insert your hook under the 9th stitch. Then take your yarn here and just put it on to your hook. Hold it with your fingers so it's stable. Pull it back like this and still hold your yarn. Just like you would crochet normally, basically. Now, this first row of part 2, what you're going to do is just 8 single crochet all the way until the end here. So insert your first single crochet in the next stitch. And you can tighten it this way. So this is your first single crochet. Then second, third, fourth, then fifth, 6 single crochet, 7 single crochet, and then 8 single crochet at the very end here. So before we move on to the next rows, this portion here, I just like to go in the following stitch here, basically the 10th stitch, and just pull the yarn back like this. So we will leave it and go back to our row. So the next row here, what we're going to do is chain 1, turn your project around as usual. You will do a decrease stitch on this first stitch. So basically you're merging stitch 1 and 2 together. So insert your hook under the stitch, pull the yarn back, insert your hook in the next stitch, pull the yarn back, and then wrap the yarn around your hook, pull it through all 3 loops. So this is your decrease. Then the next 5 stitches will be single crochet in each stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now the last stitch of this row, we will do an increase. So 2 single crochet in the exact same stitch here. So 1 and 2 single crochet in the same stitch, do an increase. And now the next 3 rows, so basically row 3, 4, and 5, you will do 8 single crochet in each rows. So don't forget to chain 1 in between each row, turn your project around, and then go ahead and do your 8 single crochet in each rows for the next 3 rows. I'll see you back here after you've completed it. Feel free to pause the video. So I'm at my last single crochet of row number 5 here. And now for row number 6, you will chain 1, then turn your project around, and again we will do a decrease in this first stitch here to merge the first 2 stitches. So after you've done your decrease, you will do 5 single crochet, 1 single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. And at the very last stitch, you will do an increase, so 2 single crochet in the same stitch. So this is end of row 6. Now for row 7, 8, 9, very easy again. You would chain 1 in between each row and do 8 single crochet in each row. So go ahead, pause the video, and do 8 single crochet in each of the next 3 rows, row 7, 8, and 9. I'll meet you back here. I'm at my last single crochet of row number 9 here. Now for the next row, if I turn my project like this, what we're going to do for row 10, we're basically working this portion here, and then we're joining to this next portion here so that the A is basically attached. So to do that, for row 10, we will chain 1. Turn your project around. The first stitch will be a decrease, so join the first 2 stitches together. After that, you will work 5 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the last stitch of the right portion here is going to be an increase. So 2 single crochet in the same stitch. And then the next stitch you will work on the other side here, which will be an increase. So you will do 2 single crochet in the first stitch on the next side here. So 1 increase here, and then another so 2 single crochet in the same stitch here. Then the next stitches will be 5 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now the last stitch will be a decrease, so you're joining the last 2 stitches together. So this is your row 10, and everything is now basically merged like this. So for row 11, you will do 16 single crochet, chain 1, turn your project around. So do 16 single crochet in this entire row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Now the next row, chain 1, turn your project around. First stitch will be a decrease, so merge the first 2 stitches together. Oops, there we go. After you've done that, you will do 12 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and you might have guessed it, the last 2 stitches you will do a decrease to join the 2 stitches together. So after this row, you should have basically 14 stitches on this row. So what you're going to do, chain 1, turn your project around, and what you're going to do is 14 single crochet on the next row. So 1 single crochet in each stitch. Now for the next row, chain 1, turn your project around, and what you're going to do is a decrease on the first stitch. So join the first 2 stitches together. After that, you're going to do 10 single crochet. After your 10th single crochet here, you will have 2 stitches left, and you will do a decrease to merge these last 2 stitches of the row. We're almost done for part 2. So next, chain 1, turn your project around. Again, you will do a decrease in the first stitch, merging the first 2 stitches together. Then you will do 8 single crochet. As you can see, we're basically decreasing the size of the top here in each and every row. 5, 6, 7, and 8. You will have 2 stitches left, and again you will do a decrease, merging the 2 stitches together. And then chain 1, turn your project around. Again, you will start with a decrease, merge the first 2 stitches together, then work 6 single crochet, again decreasing the length here. Then you will have 2 stitches left at the end. So go ahead and do a decrease, joining the 2 stitches together. And for our last row, you will chain 1, turn your project around, and you should have 8 stitches here to do 1 single crochet in each stitch. So 8 single crochet in total. So this is your top section. So now go ahead and cut your yarn. Just pull the yarn like this, secure the stitch. And now, as you can see, we have almost completed this A here. All we have left is this little leg portion here, which will be very quick. So for this part 3, the last part here, you have your A like this, turn it around like this. For the leg, we're going to start from this area here, working towards this area, and then just adding rows to form the last portion of the leg. And this bottom section, if you remember, when we worked this side and this long portion, we did chains here. So this bottom section here, you're working on chains and not single crochets. So in this very first chain here, just insert your hook and then go take your yarn and then hold the yarn with your fingers and pull it through the chain here. And now just do another chain like this. And now you will, in this same stitch here, insert 2 single crochet, basically an increase. So we're starting the row with 1 increase. So 2 single crochet in the same stitch here. And then you will work 5 single crochet in each of the next chains. So like I said, this might be a little tricky because we're not working on single crochets, but we're working on chains. So just make sure you're not skipping a chain, because that could be very well the case. Take your time and work your 5 single crochet. So after you've done your 5 single crochets, the next 2 chain, basically you're merging them to do a decrease. So the last stitch is just a decrease. So now for the next 7 rows, what you're going to do is 8 single crochet in each row. So chain 1, turn your project around, and then insert 8 single crochet in each row. I'll meet you here at the end. So I'm at my last stitch of row 7 here. Last single crochet here. Now don't cut your yarn when you're done. So basically the A is basically completed. Now just choose a side of the A that looks best, which will be on the outside. And if there's, say you're choosing this side here, I'll just move all these little yarns on the other side. So what I like to do is go on the back side, pull the yarn on the other side, so it's going to be inside the project like this. Same thing for this here. Same thing for these portions here. Essentially, it will all be hidden since it will be inside the letter. Like this. Now, once you've made 2 of those, we're essentially going to put them together like this and start stitching them together with single crochet on the entire border. So to do that, you have your side that's still attached to the ball of yarn. So insert your hook back like this. Make sure your letter is completely aligned. And then what you're going to do is very simple. Once the stitches are aligned, you use single crochet to stitch everything together. So now you insert your hook in the stitch on one side all the way to the other side, and then pull the yarn all the way back. You have your first single crochet stitching things together. So you basically do this on the entire border, and then sometimes it will be a little more difficult because you're not working with full stitches on each side of the border. So there's no right or wrong way to do this. As long as your letter seems fully aligned, you just make sure you insert enough stitch so that your project is fully closed. Here. So what I mean by this is this bottom side here is easy because we worked on single crochet here. Now this side here is not real stitches because these were the borders, so the end of each row. So you just basically do what feels right. Insert your hook wherever there are spaces to insert your hook, and then keep doing your single crochet. All the way. So just eventually make sure that you will be stuffing your letter inside with fiber fill, yarn scrap, or anything you can find before closing shut the entire project. So I'll let you go ahead. So I completed basically doing the single crochet on the outer border here. Don't worry, I'm not done stuffing my things, and don't mind this pink yarn here. It's just my yarn scrap here. So before you cut the yarn here, just do a slip stitch. So basically at the very end here, when you're satisfied that the outer edge is fully secured, just insert your hook in the next stitch, pull the yarn through back to the stitch, and also through the loop on the hook as a quick slip stitch here. Now just cut your yarn, pull the yarn through, and just leave this section here for now. And then now before we do this inner section, Make sure you stuff your A, and then I'll meet you back here once you've done that. So to do the middle section here, just insert your hook anywhere you feel comfortable. Basically align the stitches, insert your hook through both sides, basically like this. Then take your yarn, just like when we were doing these rows, pull the yarn through, holding the yarn with your finger. Then you will just keep doing these single crochet. So the middle portion is definitely trickier. Inserting your hook in the next stitch all the way through, and just do your single crochets like this. Okay. And just keep going all the way around. So I'm at my very last single crochet stitch here. And then once you're satisfied, again, do a slip stitch at the end, inserting your hook and grabbing the yarn through the loop here. And then just cut your yarn, pull the yarn through to secure everything. So just put the yarn inside the project anywhere. And then you can also basically do some knots just to make sure that everything is fully secured. I would probably do something like this, a loop, and then inserting the yarn in the loop to do the knot, and then inserting the yarn in the project again. Once you're satisfied, just cut the yarn off. And you can do the same thing with this piece here. And voila, this is how you achieve a crochet 3D letter A. To do the 3D letter Y, we will crochet 2 of these flat Y letters, and it's worked in 2 parts. So first of all, we will do this portion here all the way up and going on the left side here. And then we will join this part here and then work this other section. And so we will do 2 of these and then merge them together with single crochet all around the edges, and of course stuffing in the middle. As a start, we will do a slip knot and chain foundation. To do the slip knot, you take the tail end of your yarn, wrap it around your index finger, bring the tail end on top of the working yarn, which is the side of the yarn that's attached to your ball of yarn. Then you take the working yarn and wrap it around your index finger like this. Now you take the back loop forward, you have your slip knot. So tighten your slip knot. And now we will do 9 chains. So chains are very easy. Wrap the yarn around your hook, pull the yarn through the loop on the hook. So that's 1 chain. And then we do 9 in total. This will be our foundation chain. So I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now, very simple for the row 1 all the way to row 12. So you have 12 rows of 8 single crochet in each row. So to do the single crochet, you will insert your hook inside the second chain from the hook. So the loop on the hook does not count as a chain. So you have 1 chain here from the hook that you skip, and then the second chain from the hook, insert your hook in there, wrap the yarn around your hook, pull it back through the chain. You have 2 loops on your hook, wrap the yarn around your hook, pull it through both loops. So you have 1 single crochet, then do single crochet again in the next chain. So we have 2 single crochet and then another single crochet in the next chain. So now we have 3 single crochet. So we basically do 1 single crochet in each chain all the way until the end. We should have 8 single crochet in total. So now I have 4 single crochet and I'm doing my 5th single crochet 6th single crochet, then 7th single crochet. Then I just need to do one more, the last 8 single crochet of this first row. So now I'm moving on to row 2. So remember that between each row you want to chain 1, which will serve as a turning chain, and then you turn your project around because we want to work from the right side towards the left. So now I will continue doing 1 single crochet in each stitch to have 8 single crochet in total. So my first single crochet, second, then third, fourth, then fifth, and then 6th. So 7 single crochet of this second row, and then my last 8 single crochet of this second row. So basically that's what you do for row 3 all the way to 12. So just remember, chain 1 in between each row, turn your project around, keep adding 1 single crochet in each stitch for row 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I'll meet you here at the end of row 12. So I'm at my last stitch of row number 12, my last single crochet here. So once row 12 is done, we move on to row 13. You would chain 1 in between each row, turn your project around. We will start with an increase. So the increase, very simple. We're putting 2 single crochet in the very first stitch of the row 13. So insert your first single crochet in this first stitch here, and then you do a second single crochet in this exact same stitch here where you just did the single crochet. So 2 stitch into 1 stitch is an increase. Now we're going to do 6 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then at the last stitch of the row, we're doing another increase. So 2 single crochet in the same stitch. So 1 single crochet in the last stitch, and then a second single crochet in this last stitch. So what the increase does here is that it was try to create this open, wider area here. So that's what the increase does. So now moving on to row 14, we will chain 1, turn your project around. So actually row 14 and 15 are very simple. We're going to do 10 single crochet in each row. So just 1 single crochet in each stitch here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 here. So this is our row 14. Then we chain 1, turn our project around, and for row 15, exact same thing, 10 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So this was row 15. Now moving on to row 16, we will chain 1, turn our project around. We will do an increase in the first stitch, 2 single crochet in the same first stitch. So 1 and 2. So once our increase is done, we're going to do 8 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then you will have one last stitch unworked, and this will be an increase. So 2 single crochet in this last unworked stitch, which will make our increase stitch. Now chain 1, turn your project around. Moving on to row 17, again we will start with an increase. So 2 single crochet in the exact same first stitch here. Then we do 10 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 here. And then we will do an increase in the very last stitch. So 2 single crochet in this last stitch here. Now you will chain 1, turn your project around. For row 18, very simple, we're doing 14 single crochet. So just 1 single crochet in each stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So now that's row 18 done. We will chain 1, turn our project around, move to row 19. Again, we will do 1 increase at the very first stitch. So 2 single crochet in the very first stitch here. So 1, 2, and after that, very simple, we do 12 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then at the very last stitch here, we will do another increase. So 2 single crochet in the same stitch. So 1 and 2. So this is row 19. Now we chain 1, turn our project around. So row 20, we will do 1 increase in the first stitch. So 2 single crochet in this very first stitch here. Then we do 5 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we will do a decrease stitch. So a decrease stitch, we're basically merging the next 2 stitches together. So insert your hook under the next stitch, pull the yarn back through the stitch, and then insert your hook immediately in the following stitch. Pull the yarn back through the stitch, and you have 3 loops on your hook. Wrap the yarn around your hook, pull it through all 3 loops. So this is your decrease stitch, and this is your row 20, and that's it. So then you will chain 1, turn your project around, and we're going to work on row 21. And what this does here is that we're basically starting to work on this section here. So instead of working the whole row, we're moving this side here. So row 21, we're starting with a decrease. So insert your hook under the first stitch, pull the yarn back, insert your hook in the next stitch, pull the yarn back. You have 3 loops on your hook, wrap the yarn around your hook, pull it through all 3 loops. And then after your decrease, you do 5 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you should have a last stitch unworked. You will do an increase. So 2 single crochet in the exact same stitch here. So 1 single crochet and then another one, 8 second single crochet. So that's row 21. You will chain 1, turn your project around. Then row 22, very easy, just 8 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that is row 22. Now chain 1, and then we'll keep building on this Y here. We will do 1 decrease, so insert your hook under the first stitch, pull it back, insert your hook under the next stitch, pull it back, 3 loops on the hook, wrap the yarn around the hook, pull it through all 3 loops. And then once you're done with that, 5 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then the last stitch of the row will be an increase. So insert 1 single crochet and then a second single crochet in this last stitch to do our increase. Now chain 1, turn your project around. We're going on row 24, very easy, 8 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 right here. Moving on to row 25, chain 1, turn your project around. We're going another decrease in the first stitch here, so merging the first 2 stitches together. And then we do 5 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then do an increase at the last stitch here. So 1 single crochet in the last stitch and a second single crochet in the last stitch. Then chain 1, turn your project around. Row 26, very easy, 8 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5, 6, 7, and 8. Chain 1, turn your project around, so you will do a decrease in the first stitch here, merging the 2 stitch together. Then we will do 5 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then the last stitch will be an increase. So 2 single crochet in the same stitch. Then chain 1. Now we're at row 28. So 8 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then as usual, chain 1, turn your project around. We will do a decrease stitch here as the first stitch. Then 5 single crochet again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then you will do an increase in the last stitch, 2 single crochet in the same stitch, 1 and 2, and now chain 1, turn your project around. This will be the last row of this section here. It's going to be 8 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So once we're done with this section, we will just cut our yarn and just pull your hook like this. And so as you can see, this left side of the Y here is completed. And now we're just going to work on the right side for the second part. It's only 11 rows in total for the second part, so pretty quick. So for the second part, we're starting on this row here, and we're starting the row on working at this stitch here. So insert your hook under this first stitch here that you see, and then you will take your yarn, just wrap the yarn around your hook like this and pull it through the stitch, and then just use your fingers to hold the yarn still like this here, and then chain 1, and then in this very stitch that we just inserted our hook, we will do an increase. So 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochet in this exact first stitch, and then we will do 5 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. When you arrive at the middle section here, you have 2 stitches unworked, and this will be a decrease. So merging the 2 stitch together, just like this. And this is your first row of part 2. Now this little yarn here, just make sure it's tight here. And you can also do a knot to make sure that this yarn here doesn't come loose. So I just make a loop here, pull the yarn through like this, and I bring it back to this side here. And then I just insert it inside the loop just to make my little knot. So this makes sure that this piece of yarn here that we joined will not come loose. So going back here, for row 2, you will chain 1, turn your project around. First stitch will be a decrease. And then 5 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. And then you'll have a stitch here that's unworked. You will do an increase at the very last stitch. So 1 and 2. Chain 1, turn your project around. For row 3, it's 8 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that's row 3. Row 4, very simple. Chain 1, turn your project around. Again, we're going to start with a decrease, followed by 5 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. And then the last stitch that's unworked, we're going to do an increase. So 2 single crochet into the last stitch will be our row 4. Then chain 1, row 5 will be 8 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now chain 1, row 6, again start with a decrease. Then we follow by 5 single crochet. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and the very last stitch, an increase, so 2 single crochet in the last stitch. So this is row 6, chain 1, turn your project around. Row 7 will be 8 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now chain 1, turn your project around. For row 8, we're going to do a decrease, followed by 5 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then the very last stitch, very easy, we're going to do an increase. So 2 single crochet in the same stitch. Now chain 1, row 9 will be 8 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we're almost there. Chain 1, turn your project around, and then again we will do a decrease in the first stitch, and then followed by 5 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then the very last stitch of the row we're going to do an increase, so 2 single crochet in the same stitch, 1 and 2, and then chain 1. This will be our very last row. It's very easy. It's going to be 8 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 8 right here. So at this point here, basically, if this is your first Y, feel free to cut the yarn. But if this is your second Y, so like this first Y here that I did, I just cut all the yarn, right? And then this second one, we don't need to cut the yarn because we can use this here to merge the two Ys together. So at this point, take this other Y that you have here and then put the two one on top of each other and make sure it's perfectly aligned, at least on this top portion here that you will be joining here. And what we're doing is basically just single crochet all across the edges here. So I'll start here by inserting my hook in the two parts here. So as you can see, I have my hook through the two parts, and then do a single crochet. And then I just continue like this all the way so that the two parts can be merged together. And then you just do this all the way around. As you can see, all the way. And just make sure that before you shut everything, you just stuff your letter, 3D letter. You can use fiberfill or yarn scrap or anything else you have at home, cotton, to just fill up your project. So as you can see, I'm just merging these two sides together. And I just continue all the way from all the outer ends here. So go ahead and merge your Y together and don't forget to stuff your 3D project. And I'll meet you back here. So I just went all the way around here, and on my last stitch, I'll just do a slip stitch. So I'm inserting my hook in the last stitch, pull the yarn through the stitch and through the loop on my hook here. This will just make the last stitch flatter, and I'll just cut my yarn. So I'd make sure to fill my Y. And then for this piece here, I will just use a yarn needle. And I will just bring the yarn inside the project. And if you have other pieces of yarn randomly somewhere outside the project, just use a yarn needle to bring the yarn inside the project. So I just do this a couple times before I cut my yarn. So honestly, just like this, I think it's pretty good. So I just cut my yarn. And just like that, you have a nice crochet 3D letter Y. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, share the video, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.